afternoon. Welcome to a NewsLink Indiana special report. I'm Tony Sandlaben. Save MCS. That is the slogan for a protest going on right now at the intersection of Wheeling Avenue and McGalliard Road. This protest has come as a result of recent financial troubles the Muncie Community Schools District is facing. NewsLink Indiana's Emerson Lehman is live at the scene with more. Emerson?
Well, thanks, Tony, and I'm live here on the corner of Wheeling and McGalliard for the Save MCS rally, and it is picking up a lot of momentum as you look around me. Lots of cars pulling up to the intersection here, teachers and concerned community members handing out flyers, and if we walk up the road here a little bit, you can see many supporters holding out signs, handing out flyers, trying to get their message across to the community as a whole, as they're very concerned about the situation in which the Muncie community school district finds itself at this moment. They are in a very difficult fiscal situation, as well as having issues with retired faculty members and teachers meeting salaries with insurance benefits, things like that. We're hoping to speak with a few of those concerned members when we come back. But for now, live in Muncie, I'm Emerson Lehman, NewsLink Indiana.
Joining us now is former MCS school board candidate Will Walker. Will, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Will, you've seen this information, all right? Now, as a former candidate running for the school board, what's your reaction to what the superintendent released?
Well, I tell you, it's really not many new informatives. It's things that have been released prior and that the teachers already really know and understand. And to me, it's Dr. Ball trying to cover his tracks a little bit and to try and say, well, this is where we're going, and the teachers really aren't buying it because really he's also kind of released some of the negotiations, which to my knowledge you're not supposed to do, but really I think that's where it stands. It's a lot of information that's already been released.
And so further along those lines, where do you think the blame falls for what's been going on financially?
And I think that might be the tricky part, because it's so easy to blame the current administration and say, well, you guys got us into this mess. But when you really look at it, it's difficult to say that, because this has really been a couple decades in the making. You go back 20, 30 years and you can see mistakes that were made decision-wise and that kind of put us in this hole. And now we're trying to dig ourselves out, but we're really doing it too fast. And we're trying to do everything at once, and you just can't undo 20, 30 years worth of damage in 1 or 2 years.
And so it seems to be a lot of different messages coming out of today's protest. There are some people that are there saying that the blame all falls on Stephen Ball and that they want him out. Others are saying they just want a new teacher contract. Some are simply there to support Muncie Community Schools students and teachers and simply show their support. What do you think the message should be from today's protest?
And I think that's really important to understand, because I think in a way you can really combine them all. Dr. Ball has made a lot of bad decisions, treated a lot of people very poorly, and there are consequences that come along with that. But then you look at the contract negotiations, and the teachers are still on their contract from the 2014 school year, and so he's also dialed back things that are on that contract, and in the contract you have to follow the most current contract there, which is from the 2014 school year, and he has failed to do that. And so then you look at the community aspect, and the community is really rallying around our teachers right now, and as they should. It's very hard to be a teacher at any point, and especially when you have an administration that's working against you. It makes it even harder to wake up and do your job every day.
So now, when you say an administration working against you, what do you mean? It comes across there's a lot of very difficult decisions that have to be made. Obviously, this deficit's no joke.
Absolutely.
It's very astoundingly high. I mean, the superintendent himself called it a dire situation. So do you think that it's simply the superintendent making poor decisions that's resulting in protests like these? Or do you think that it's maybe there might be blame on the other side, where people aren't really willing to accept the fact that cuts need to be made, harsh decisions need to be made in order to try to fix this problem?
I think that's a reality that should be faced sometimes, because neither side is going to get everything that they want, and neither side has to be able to accept that. But in certain circumstances, like we see Dr. Ball has proposed a 3% pay cut across the board for all teachers, but the numbers that I got were that in the last 10 years there's only been a 3.8% pay increase, and again, that is a 10-year window. And he is willing to make an instant 3% cut. And so it's things like that where it's kind of seeming unfair, and he's targeting certain teachers and making them feel unwanted in their own school district. And I think it's hard to expect teachers to wake up every day and do their jobs when they feel unwanted.
Well, thank you very much, Will, for your time this afternoon. We're going to go back now live to that protest where we're going to bring Emerson Lehman back in once again. He is live with a former MCS employee. Emerson?
I'm here with one of those protesters, a former faculty member, Kay Rankin. Kay, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
And Kay, you guys are out here trying to get an important message across. Do you mind sharing with our viewers what that message is?
Well, the message is that Muncie Schools is a wonderful school district, but they're in financial problems, partially because of what the state legislature passed several years ago, and we lost some factories as a tax base. But there's so many positive things that are going on in the school, but the superintendent continues to dwell on what's negative, which is the $11 million deficit that we have. So what we want to get across to the public is this can be fixed. The teachers are working to try to fix it. We need the parents to be involved in this too, because it's a wonderful corporation. The schools are doing wonderful things, and one person should not be able to come in and be so negative about our schools, because it hurts the schools and it's hurting the city of Muncie as well.
And you mentioned, the teachers are trying to do a lot. They're working very hard to fix the situation. Do you mind sharing what some of those initiatives that they're taking are?
Well, I think what the teachers are proposing with contract negotiations are some reasonable steps. They're not asking for a raise. They're not asking for any more money necessarily, because they know of the financial crisis. What the superintendent is asking them to do is a little out of line. He wants everybody to make the same salary. And he also wants the teachers to have to pay back money that they've made this year, as much as $4,000 or $5,000, and that just doesn't make any sense, or at least not to me anyway.
Sure. And now you mentioned the superintendent, Stephen Ball, and now there has also been an issue with some former retired faculty members losing their insurance benefits. Do you care to comment on that at all?
Yeah, several. One of the contract that they are currently under has an incentive for early retirement, that if you retire early, then the school corporation will continue to pay your insurance. You go ahead and make your initial contribution that you would have if you had been working here. So, and then they want them, so in November, Dr. Ball proposed that be stopped. So that left the retirees, many people who just recently retired in June, less than 6 weeks to try to find some additional insurance. And so it's costing them close to $10,000 to $12,000 a year to carry that insurance. And well, they didn't plan for that in their budgeting. And that is a contract issue, and that's signed, and what he's trying to do is a breach of contract.
And Kay, just this whole entire event, it took weeks of planning. How does it make you feel to see so many people out here supporting, holding signs, hearing all the drivers drive by and honking their horns in support of the teachers? How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel happy. I love the schools, and most people think I'm crazy, but I taught for 41 years, and 16 to 18-year-olds make my life, and they made my days. And so I just think it's wonderful that the people are out here supporting the schools.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. And guys, once again, we're out here on the corner of McGalliard and Wheeling, where the Save MCS rally continues to pick up momentum. Tons of cars driving past, many supporters out here, community members, faculty members, students, all holding up signs, supporting the teachers, trying to get their message across. Live in Muncie, I'm Emerson Lehman, NewsLink, Indiana.
All right, thank you very much, Emerson. To recap, Muncie Community Schools are in a major financial deficit, and teachers, students, and community members are sounding off. The organized protest is currently taking place at the intersection of Wheeling Avenue and McGalliard Road. We will, of course, keep you updated on this story. You can visit our website at ballstatedaily.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to our NewsLink Indiana special report this afternoon. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and be sure to tune in to NewsLink Indiana Monday night at 9 o'clock. Have a good afternoon.